entered the chat. He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Bilecki. We're inside the PNC Bank studio. You want to call on in 617-790-0928. Write us an email, thechat@nesson.com to join the chat. Join the conversation. Put yourself in the show. We got a packed show for you guys today. We're going to go through Patriots training camp. 4 practices have come and gone. This episode is dropping Monday morning. As of recording, they've done 4 practices. We talk about the one-on-ones, what's still shuffling about the offensive line, go through there. Olympic basketball. USA ran through Serbia. Jayson Tatum didn't play. We'll get to that. We'll also talk some Simone Biles and the injury that she's dealing with. First, let's open up. Trav, how you doing today, bro?
Let me tell you something, brother. Trending. Every time I'm on, Boston has entered the chat with you, GB.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a beautiful thing, man. It's like all the planets have aligned at the right time, perfect place, perfect time, and then it's me and you. What you gonna do when you turn on Boston has entered the chat? Travis Thomas, George Bilecki, running wild with you. Oh, yeah, brother.
And that's how you cut a promo right there. Boom. What were we watching? Was it Randy Savage?
Yeah.
That's what. All right. That's before my time. Randy Savage, as you can see, it leaks over to Travis Savage. Hey, let's go through what's trending.
All right.
When did Randy Savage wrestle? 80s?
Yeah, 80s.
Flavor Flav was a big deal in the 80s too.
He was, man. I was there for that too. The big clock. Flavor Flav. I see he's back in the news now.
Yeah, so he's sponsoring the U.S. water polo teams.
Random.
And, well, yeah, very random.
Right?
And as much as I hate social media at times, how this came together was women's team captain Maggie Steffens posted on her Instagram in May how they rely on sponsors to get through the Olympics. And he literally commented, "Hey, yo, as a girl dad in support of all women's sports, I'm going to personally sponsor you, my girl, whatever you need. And I'm going to sponsor the whole team." I don't know if that was good.
All you got to do at the end is say, Flavor Flav. That's all.
Hey, yo.
You had it.
It's your boy, Flavor Flav.
Did you watch the dating show he did back in the day?
Flavor of Love? Yeah, of course.
Well,
I love New York.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
you know what time. He said, you know what time it is.
Man, we're not even 2.5 minutes into this pod, and we've cut like 10 promos all on the 80s.
What we do, bro.
But I love this. He was at the game. He has a custom jersey and a water cap, swimming cap, has a clock, cheering on the team, and he's just like, he's full on like proud dad mode. I saw you like quote tweeted the final score.
Yeah.
So proud of you, girls. So the randomness, but I'm here for it. It's like genuine.
Yeah, it's a win-win because, look, water polo is not exactly the most popular sport you've ever seen, and Flavor Flav is not exactly the most popular person you've ever seen in 2024. So it's really, I think, it's a perfect link-up. Rando as hell, but perfect because it's a win-win for both of them.
Every time he pops back up, I'm like amazed he's still alive because he looks like he's 37 million years old.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of miles.
A lot out of him.
Yeah, he's lived a life, that guy, and he looks every bit of it, doesn't he? But he's still here. Kudos to him. God bless him.
It does spotlight like the sports, like water polo, like handball, certain gymnasts, the more niche sports, like they need to work like 3 jobs on the side while training for the Olympics.
I believe it.
Compared to the soccer, basketball players, the swimmers.
Bro,
but some of the swimmers need to do the same thing.
I never watched handball in my life until today. Remember today? I was walking by the TV. I was like, what is this? You were like, handball, bro. I was like, I've never seen this. It is intense.
We were talking about it for like 20 minutes how sick it is. And then like on time, you're like, what is this? I'm like, it's handball.
I've never seen it in my life.
Forget pickleball. I'm all in on handball. All right, moving on. Talking about people that get paid. They don't need to work 3 jobs. Jordan Love and Tua Tagovailoa. Congrats. You guys are set for life.
Yeah.
Tua Tagovailoa signed a 4-year, $212 million contract, $167 million
crazy.
Guaranteed.
Crazy.
Then Jordan Love followed that up with 4 years, $220 million total value, just $160 total guaranteed, so just $7 million less than Tua, but a $75 million signing bonus. The second he hit that paper, $75 million dropped into his bank account like that.
Man.
NFL record.
I mean, listen, I understood Jordan Love's deal a little more than I did Tua's. For Tua, when I saw the news, I thought, good for him. Like, he hit the lottery. Because this whole time, and I've been telling you this, George, and we talk about it on Foxborough Rush, which, by the way, you can catch on Nesson's YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, wherever you get your podcasts. Make sure you follow us, too, on all your social media accounts for all of our best content. But on Foxborough Rush, you and I have talked about this, and I did not believe that the Dolphins would show Tua the money, so to speak. I didn't. I thought they'd reset and maybe draft a kid to play quarterback, or maybe even go out and get another veteran quarterback that's better than Tua. I still can't get over the fact of what we saw. I can't unsee the quarterback that I saw before they changed regimes there, and they got McDaniels, and they got a whole new offensive mentality and mindset and system in place there, and Tua has since looked like an NFL quarterback. But before that, he didn't. I didn't even think he belonged in the league. He looked slow and small and feeble. And sure enough, here we are now. It just goes to show you the right coach, the right system. You can make anybody look decent. And I'm not saying Tua stinks, but clearly he's a system quarterback.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And so for him to get paid, you know, the Dolphins didn't break the bank here. They still have enough flexibility to go get other players over the years. But really, it's about Tua getting paid, and he's lucky. And if you ask me, I think he's lucky that he got paid. Jordan Love makes a lot more sense. I wanted a bigger sample size from Jordan Love than what I've got so far, but I have at least seen enough where it makes sense that the Packers made this move to lock him up for the future and make sure they got their guy.
It's Tua coming in just under $42 million a year, based off the guaranteed money. Same thing with Jordan Love. And you said it, like Tua in this system is great. Good. You have the system in place. You have the wide receivers. You obviously have the head coach with the system and knows how to work with Tua as well. And it's the same thing with Jordan Love. It's that the Daniel Jones contract is what throws a stank on any quarterback contract. People watch that and go, ooh. Tua and Jordan Love both take over Daniel Jones, and that's not a hot take. That's just like fact.
Facts.
Right? Tua, I see it as in Miami, in the system, which he's familiar with, and he could go out and execute it. The Dolphins, as is every NFL team, you'd rather have somebody than nobody, and that's a tax they're paying. Where Tua and Jordan Love both went to those front offices, their agents did. They're like, you need a quarterback. We have that quarterback in your building that executes at a high level. If you're not going to pay him, someone else will. And then you're going to have to draft, and you got to hope that guy hits. You hit on Tua. Packers, you hit on Jordan Love, pay them. Now, the Jordan Love contract, I have no issue with it. I know everyone's saying, only 8 games. You only had 8 great games. 18 touchdowns to 1 interception. That 1 playoff win in Dallas at the Cowboys was great. Both of these contracts is what they project them to become. And with Jordan Love, he has the athleticism. He certainly has the arm talent. All of his receivers and his top 2 tight ends are on rookie deals. They've paid for the defense, the offensive line set, and he's with Matt LaFleur. The Packers have everything lined up perfectly. And from that 8-game sample size, but that's a guy that sat for 3 years before he started, learned the system of Matt LaFleur. Jordan Love, this is going to be such a bargain in 2 to 3 years. And then you know what the knock's going to be? Jordan Love holding out to get a renewed deal. Or the Packers, like what the Chiefs do with Patrick Mahomes, they just go out, move up the guaranteed money or move it back, reduce the cap, and they invest it somewhere else. But like, here's a guaranteed money. Take it. We know what you are. You're solid.
Yeah. The other thing, too, I would say about Jordan Love where I feel more confidence in him long-term, aside from the youth, obviously. But, you know, he's not a Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts guy that runs around a ton, George.
Yeah.
He can move, obviously. He's not a statue back there, but he's not a guy that takes a lot of punishment, quite frankly. So Green Bay, and you said it. I mean, everything you laid out's facts. The wide receiving core, still young, growing with Jordan Love. The offensive line in Green Bay, I don't know how the hell they do it. The Giants should take notes, but their offensive line's always good. Always, no matter what. I think it's a cheese in Wisconsin. That's just a theory of mine.
Corn-fed boys.
I think so. But either way, you're going to always have a really good line, a well-run organization. We assume they're going to keep these receivers with him for a long time. I just think Jordan Love is going to be upright and healthy. And, you know, Tua, obviously we have concerns with his history. Tua, again, hit the lottery. I think in Jordan Love's case, the Packers hit the lottery.
Yeah, I agree with that. Look at Guys that are making more guaranteed than Jordan Love right now. He's at $160 million total guaranteed. Deshaun Watson, but that's
that
contract will never happen again. 100% guaranteed. Joe Burrow, 219.
Okay.
Trevor Lawrence, 200 mil. I'd rather pay Jordan Love than Trevor Lawrence.
Me too.
Justin Herbert, tough, both very talented.
They're on par with each other, except that Herbert didn't have a coach.
Herbert was in a far worse situation than Jordan Love. Lamar Jackson, 185 mil, always becomes a pumpkin in the playoffs. Let's see if he can break that. Jalen Hurts, 179 mil.
We'll see.
I know. With a third offensive coordinator the last 3 years.
Right.
Jared Goff, 170 mil. Tua Tagovailoa, 167 million, then Jordan Love. So everyone freaking out saying he's getting all this money after just 8 games.
Yeah.
Those are all the guys getting paid ahead of him. There's going to be the Gotti number, highest paid player. So there's always they find that he's the highest paid player in NFL history because of this. They always find that in these contracts.
Yeah.
75 million signing bonus. And you know what the Packers did? By doing this before Dak gets paid?
Right.
They're saving $20 million a year potentially. And it would have gone 2 ways. Jordan Love either would have went out the season, put up a stinker, and they'd be like, hey, the price is dropping. Or if he equals or exceeds what he did last season towards the end, price goes up. So we got to get ahead of the market.
I think you're a year ahead of this when you said it. I think Dak's going to Vegas. I'm convinced. I think he's going to end up in Vegas, right?
Make the money work.
Can't you feel it?
Yeah. Antonio Pierce wants that.
Right.
That'd be nice. For Dak, what's the pressure in Vegas?
None.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? You go out there. It's not a bad town to be rich in.
No, not at all.
I'd go straight to the casino, but that's just me.
Dak could probably do the same thing. All right, on to more serious matters.
All right.
Yeah, you got to stop laughing.
All right, sorry.
So this happened right before we started recording the pod. Patriots putting out a very serious statement. Christian Barmore is okay, but they said, and I quote, over the weekend, Christian Barmore was diagnosed with blood clots. He was appropriately treated by the doctors at Mass General Brigham, who tested, evaluated, and treated Christian. Our principal concern at this time is Christian's health and well-being. Fortunately, Mass General Brigham provides some of the best health care in the world. Yep. While there is still no current timetable for his return, we know Christian is getting tremendous care and we look forward to his full recovery, end quote. Scary. He literally just turned 25 on Sunday.
Yep.
And before you even get to the football, very young. He's a pro athlete. That's how he makes a living. You hope he could come back. It called back to me. I know Marquise Goodwin dealt with blood clots last season, missed some time in training camp. David Andrews missed all 2019 with blood clots back then. So them saying we don't know what the timetable is, first off, hope Christian Barmore is okay.
Yes.
Young dude, very talented, can make a lot of money in this league. But first and foremost, I hope the person's okay.
Yeah.
Then you look at the football aspect. That is a huge shot to this Patriots defense.
It absolutely is. For him as a player and the person, as you said, I'm just glad they caught this.
Yeah.
Because how many times you and I have both been in this game a long time now covering these athletes, and a lot of times this stuff ends in tragedy, and you find out after the fact what happened. And it's like, oh, he had a blood clot. And it's like, oh, my God. And it becomes a tragedy. So thank goodness they caught it when they did. And also, just speaking from personal experience here, you're in the best town for stuff like this, right? So he's getting the best care that you can get in the world. I'm confident that it's not if he'll be back, it's when he'll be back, right? He will be back into the fold at some point when they get this under control. But that's the first thing that jumped out to me is thank goodness they got this when they did. And he is a young player, and he will bounce back. Now, if you're talking on the football field, you know, what kind of impact this is going to have, depending how long he's out. If he misses the whole season, that's a devastating loss, George, because this guy is an absolute monster, which is why he got the bag to begin with here in New England. So hopefully, you know, he can get healthy and he can get back on that football field sooner than later, because if he misses a season, it's just another loss for this team where you're already thinking, well, damn, the defense is going to have to carry the offense anyways again, and they had a lot of injuries last season. So if you're going into it with this guy out for the season, we don't know that. We're just talking here. But if he does miss the season, that's a huge loss for a defense that's supposed to be carrying your team.
Anytime lost right now is crucial.
Right.
Because even though the system is carrying over, Gerard Mayo was elevated to head coach. DeMarcus Covington was elevated from defensive line coach to DC. Still got to learn it.
Yep.
He's a key piece. Blows up the middle of the pocket. Great on every single down. Is such an explosive player. And when he's playing at his best, he's arguably the best player on that defense with the Christian Gonzalez, with the Kyle Duggar, with the Matt Judon on it. So they got to hope for his recovery. And it is one of those things, too. You don't want to rush someone back from something like this. You know? Like, obviously, he wants to get out there and play. But this is something so serious that you got to go, we have to be 120% sure.
Hell yeah.
You're past it and it's behind you.
Yep.
Because it's not just this season, it's the season after. It's not just football, it's his life. Exactly. So that's what I hope. Yeah, I think you make a great point. To be in a city like Boston, where you have some of the best doctors, some of the best hospitals, we know about it. You see them everywhere. Literally every neighborhood you're in, there's an MGB, an MGH, wherever you may be.
Yep.
For me, there's in Charlestown, there's a hospital branch there too. So everywhere you go, you get the great coverage. So luckily for Barmore, they caught it.
Yeah.
And just like 4 days into training camp too. This is coming out on Sunday. This news breaking. So just 3-4 practices in for him. Like you said, to your point, instead of like 2 weeks in or a preseason game.
Yeah, I'll say this too. The flip side of the coin. Let's just wish it to existence and speak it to existence. Once he is healthy, and he is back, however long of time he missed, a lot of times in these cases, what happens, especially with younger players, you get a renewed sense of appreciation for the game and for your position, and you come back hungrier and meaner than ever. And so for this kid, you know, as again, we talk about him being young, he's going to bounce back. He's going to be okay. Thank God they caught it when they did. But I am telling you, when he gets back out on that field, he is going to wreak havoc against the opposition. Disadvantage opposition, advantage Patriots.
It's good that their staff has experience with this situation because of David Andrews.
That's true.
They can lean on someone like DA to bring him back.
Yep.
And think of David Andrews. Missed 2019. He's been a rock ever since he
you're
returned
right.
on that.
You're right.
And you saying like his renewed, I'm just thinking outlook on life. Think of Calvin Anderson and everything he went through last season.
Yep.
Like literally his life was in doubt as he battled what he did.
Yeah.
And you see him now on the practice field looking healthier. I asked him day one of training camp, he spoke mentally how does it feel? It feels great to be back out here. There's something where it changes his perspective, brings more gratefulness to every day. And again, you hope Christian Barmore gets past it. And like you said, willing it, will get past it and we'll be okay.
Amen.
Stuff. So let's get into training camp updates. From day 4 through there, they finally had one-on-ones during the receive. And I'm focusing on the receivers and cornerbacks.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to go through who won what rep.
Okay.
Cornerback Jonathan Jones beat KJ Osborne. Jalen Polk beat Jonathan Jones. Oh, just wait. But KJ Osborne beat Sean Wade, who had a good finish to the season last year. Christian Gonzalez beat Juju Smith-Schuster.
Can't be that hard.
Tyquan Thornton beat Alex Austin. Javon Baker beat Christian Gonzalez. It's a good win for Javon. Alex Austin beat Juju Smith-Schuster.
Can't be that hard.
KJ Osborne beat Marcellus Dial. And then Javon Baker with highlight catch of the day beat Mikey Victor. You notice who didn't get a win?
Juju. Yeah. You know why? He shouldn't be here.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, why are we still playing these games with Juju Smith-Schuster? I'm not breaking any news here. Why is he here? Why are you here, bro? Why are you around, bro? I mean, go sign with someone else. Like, let him go and see if someone else wants him. Maybe the XFL is hiring. I mean, this guy can't create separation. I saw a video from day 4 of camp where Drake May put an absolute beaut. Boo, touch pass, everything. Boo, sounded like this when he came out and saying, boo. Hit Juju right in the breadbasket, man.
Yeah.
In the end zone. Oh, whoopsie, dropped it. Why? Because I'm Juju Smith-Schuster. That's why. I can't get separation. I don't have hands. I can't run routes. I'm immature. Someone told me they saw him in Encore partying. Bro, you should be working on your craft because your game is terrible. What you doing in Encore? Partying for? You reserve that for good players.
He's likely, like, he's getting lost out there on the field, too. Watching an 11-on-11 and 7-on-7s, like, continuously you see Jalen Polk targeted or Pop Douglas targeted, let alone making catches. Javon Baker stepping up, starting to get reps with the ones on Sunday as well. And one guy, even you're seeing Jalen Rieger make an impact. Tyquan Thornton be a guy that I think it's overestimating how many catches he has. But those are the guys we see the names continually come up time and time again. Juju Smith-Schuster is getting lost in the shuffle. And for all the cap maneuvering that the Patriots have to do and the money they have to figure out, If he's on the roster, he costs him $8 million. If he's off the roster, he costs him $10 million. It's only $2 million more to not have him. And with the team that everything is, what are you doing next year, the year after? How many reps, how many game reps, practice reps in general? How much development is he taking away from a Polk, from a Baker, from the younger guys you want to figure out and see what they got? And it's just he's getting lost out there. If you're not winning on one-on-ones, which, by the way, one-on-ones are in favor of the offense. They favor the offensive player. And you're getting beat by Alex Austin. Alex Austin is fine. He had a great PBU, and it was a dime dropped in the bucket to Juju Smith-Schuster's lap. Like, perfect pass. Bro, you've been in the league for how many years? You're a vet. You got to pull that in. Great play by Alex Austin.
Yes.
But Alex Austin, I don't know if he'll be in the league next year.
Yeah, he won't. And also, here's the other thing. If you have a veteran wide receiver who can't create separation anymore, okay, fine. You know what you got to bring me, bro? You have to bring me veteran leadership. You got to bring me veteran presence with all these young pups I have at the wide receiver position that I'm not even sure if any of them can play or not. Mm-hmm. You got to be the pro. You got to be the mature guy. You got to be the locker room dude. You got to be the OG. I'm not even getting that from you, bruh. I just don't know why he's here. I said that last season. At the end of last season, I thought, well, at least Juju will be gone. Here we are, day 4 of camp, talking about Juju blowing it in one-on-one drills where it's designed for the wide receiver to win, just like the NFL is designed for the offense to win, and you still can't, bro. I mean, it's just at some point, he's always been a pain in the arse, but at least there was some production there. You're not even getting that anymore. And he's still a pain in the arse. What's the point?
Yeah, with the Chiefs, he was at least like 10 yards in a cloud of dust, like guaranteed first down every time he caught the ball. With the Steelers, he was a solid wide receiver too, but those years are behind him and he had the bad knee. He still just doesn't seem to have that burst back. He looks slimmer, but he doesn't look quicker. And he's just not seeing an impact on the field. So overall, luckily, it's day 4 we're talking about it. We'll see when it's day 9, 10, 11.
Same.
You know?
Same
we'll
song.
see him still around. For them, they're probably like, until Kendrick Bourne comes back, let's see what we have with him. And there is like, you want to be smart. And when you're going up to Robert Kraft and say, hey, we're burning $2 million to cut this guy, you got to be sure of it. Because you know that this is a franchise that counts every single dollar. They don't like to spend or waste any money.
Sure.
Want to be smart with their investments. If they're going to cut him, they got to be right. But let's talk about the Javon Baker catch real quick.
Yep.
I said it was a highlight catch of the day. Again, one-on-ones. Tracked the ball, completely lost sight of it, just looked up and fell right into it. The concentration by him on that, it's good to see. I've seen Polk step up time and time again and continually be targeted, whether with Jacoby Brissett or Drake May. So there's the trust there. Mm-hmm. And he's looking like he's the best receiver on this team right now. Good at high pointing the ball, targeting. Javon Baker, his thing was ball tracking, body control, deep ball presence. Again, it's one-on-one. It's you one-on-one with the DB, but, man, that was an athletic play. There is a dynamicism to this wide receiving core. I think I just made that word
I
out.
kind of like it.
But there's actually dynamic playmakers on the outside, and I love seeing Javon Baker, Jalen Polk make plays like this instead of seeing Devontae Parker get sunned on the sideline against the Dolphins. You know? That's what it comes down to. I'm gonna bring down the mood, though.
Why?
Offensive line.
Oh, God.
So
George loves this stuff.
First 2 days, it was Chooks Okorafor, then Calvin Anderson at right tackle. Then day 2, Chooks at left tackle, Caden Wallace at right tackle. Last 2 practices, Caden Wallace at left tackle, Chooks Okorafor at right tackle. And this was after Chooks Okorafor met with the media and spoke and go, I know you guys don't think I can play left tackle. I've played it before. I've been in this league a long time. Like, I can do it. And then he flips. They're trying everything. Getting Caden Wallace reps at left, Chooks rep at right, and flip it and so on and so forth. Because like these are the guys we have. These are the tackles on our roster. We need as much experience and versatility and snaps at every position because pads aren't on yet. You can't get a real tell of your offensive line yet. They have the core 3 in the middle. Sidney So left guard, David Andrews center, Mike Onwenu right guard settled. They just don't know what they're doing with their tackles yet, and that's obvious.
Well, I need them to figure it out. You know why? Because I am ready for Drake May week 1. Okay,
you're not getting it until they figure this 5 out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I need this expeditiously because I need Drake May going into the jungle against Slim Shady Hair himself. Joe Burrow and everyone around the league and all these geniuses on all these shows except this one picking the Bengals to win, and it's going to be tough sledding for the Patriots and the rookie quarterback Drake May. And then guess what's going to happen? Drake May is going to march right into Cincy. Week 1. Everyone's saying, why are you starting him now? It's a little early. Shut up. He's going to win the game. He's going to shock Joe Burrow and the Bengals, and then everyone's going to know Drake May's got next, baby. Let's go.
He's not going to make it out of week 1 alive if this is what it continues with the offensive line. I don't.
You couldn't just let me set sail there. No. You had to let the air out.
Also, Drake May, like day 1, throws in the dirt, off target, trouble with the center quarterback exchange on the snap, fumbled the snap on Friday as well. So in 3 days of practice, had 2 fumbled snaps, threw an interception to Matt Judon.
Tell me about those nice passes he was throwing.
Sunday he went 11 for 16. He was sacked. Friday was 17 for 23, but with that interception. And you see the footwork issues coming up. It's just everything has to be slowed down. Gerard Mayo, he said it, foundation year. I'm not saying Drake May's not going to play, but they have to take it slow with this offense, as Alex Van Pelt wants, as Ben McAdoo wants, as you want with the West Coast offense. You want to get it right. You don't want to get it all. You don't need to get it all. But they're focused on the execution of each and every single play, opposed to putting the whole playbook together and like rushing to that.
Well, I've said this to you before. I think one of the things they can do, and we're not going to see it now while no one's in pads and they're playing against air, but when we get to real football time, right, you can help your offensive line by running the G-damn ball. Like that never – offensive linemen will tell you. That's the best thing you can do for an offensive line. It's much easier to run block because you just literally go maul the guy in front of you than it is to pass pro. And a lot of times with offensive lines that are struggling to gel and figure it out, or maybe even just a lack of talent overall, when you run the ball effectively, it gets them in the game. And it gets them mauling people, and it gets them, bonding and gelling and figuring it out and figuring out strengths and weaknesses. So hopefully by the time we get to that portion of the football program where they start actually playing against human beings and running the ball and having on pads, maybe we could see some success there. So if I'm Ramondre Stevenson, I'm getting ready because I'm hoping – I wanted him to have more carries last season. He dealt with some injuries, I know. But hopefully this season he can stay healthy, and I am feeding him that ball.
I also read for Jacoby Brissett on Friday. He came out and he said – he was proud of Drake May, the way he bounced back from that interception.
Yeah.
Completed his next 4 passes.
There you go.
And that's it. He's like, in a game, that's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to have a bad play. You're going to have a turnover.
Especially
it's how do you
as a
bounce
rookie.
back.
Right.
It's what I love about Joe Burrow. He'll go out there an interception. Next drive, he'll make that same exact throw and complete it, where he pushes the envelope and he makes the throws needed to win a game. He doesn't play it safe, but he plays it smart. Joe Burrow.
Josh Allen does that too, and a lot of people knock him for his turnovers, but I'm always like, this guy's a gunslinger. He'll go right back at you, and we've seen him have 2-3 interception games and throw a game winner. I mean, all the great ones, I think. Mahomes is just on a different planet. I don't even like putting Mahomes in some of these conversations because he doesn't turn the ball over much. But outside of Mahomes, most of your great quarterbacks right now in the league will turn that pill over, but they'll also make a big play as well and keep going at you. And that's the mentality you want to see.
Josh Allen, 4 playoff appearances, 21 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
There you go.
All the knock he gets, like last year, he didn't make that pass to Stephon Diggs. He had Chris Jones in his lap. Like, there is so much he can do, and there is also a defense blowing the game when you have a defensive-minded head coach.
Facts. Well, you're going to have more of that this season, and he doesn't have his number one weapon anymore in Diggs, so he's probably going to throw more picks, and I'd still take Josh Allen over a lot of these other quarterbacks.
Josh Allen's a guy you walk away from a game watching. Like when they would match up with the Patriots.
Yep.
And you'd look at the Bills, and they got a dude.
Yep.
They have a playmaker. When they played the Ravens, that's Lamar. When they played the Chargers, that's Herbert.
Yep.
And then when they play the Dolphins, you're like, those are 2 guys at quarterback. Mac Jones and Tua Tagovailoa I'm talking about here.
Yeah, well.
But that's the difference what the Patriots have now, and Drake May is developing a dude.
That's what I was going to say. Wait till they get a load of Drake May week 1 in the jungle against the Bengals. You know what my son asked me? My son took out his Mac Jones jersey, and he says, Dad, when can we tape this and put May on it?
Do it now.
I know. I keep putting it off. I'm like, we'll do it, son. We'll do it.
Everyone's doing it at training camp.
I saw. I've seen
there are
them.
so many many number 10s
Yeah,
with
bro.
May on the back.
I've seen it. I've been at Fenway this past weekend
Yeah,
for the
same
Sox
thing.
Yankees, and I saw so many number 10 jerseys with tape and May written in magic marker.
Smart thing to do. Save yourself $70. That's
Facts.
why. What's the next jersey you're gonna get your kid? Because
He wants Mahomes or Brady, and I'm like,
him Brady,
boy,
get him
both
Brady.
of those are so expensive.
I'll find a Chinese website for you. Don't worry about that. But get him Brady.
It'll fade as soon as we wash it.
No. It's legit, man. I got jerseys from years ago. Point being that I'm making is that like, if I get a jersey, it has to be someone retired. I can't get a current player because holdouts, free agencies, getting traded. You know.
Yeah, he loves Mahomes. I mean, every kid loves Mahomes nowadays. This generation, right? We understand why, and he loves Brady. So I got to do it. But in the meantime, I'm going to put some tape over Mac Jones's name and
Economic
write May.
decision there.
Absolutely.
Economically responsible.
Absolutely.
That's you're going to teach him a lesson about financial
That's right.
responsibility.
You're damn right I am.
At just 5 years old, he'll learn it. All right, let's move on to Olympic basketball. The U.S. finally opening up real basketball group stages play.
Woo!
Opened up with a 110-84 win over Serbia. This was tight to start. Like, Serbia jumped out to a 19-14 lead.
Yeah.
Then Steve Kerr did this thing. Looked down at his bench, and he goes, oh, it's Kevin Durant finally back from his calf down there. All-time leading scorer in the U.S. Olympic. Get out there, KD.
Yeah.
Hit 8 of his first shots, 5 for 5 from 3.
Yep.
Him and LeBron completely just took over the game, and you saw the separation between the U.S. going against Nikola Jokic, who was he filled up the sheets, but he was like a non-factor because USA just took care of Serbia.
I think it's funny that you said Steve Kerr looked down the bench, saw Kevin Durant, pointed to him and said, you come here.
He overlooked.
You forgot the part that he looked at Jayson Tatum and gave him the finger and didn't play him at all.
DNP for Jayson
I thought
Tatum.
that was an interesting choice by Steve Kerr. Just give Captain America himself the finger. Just a champion and first team.
I wouldn't give him Captain America.
Well, you know why? Because first team All-NBA, he was the only American.
Yep.
That's why. He's
Best
Captain
American
America.
player, not
You're damn
Dave
right.
Blaney
He's
for Team
Captain
USA.
America. And you just give him the finger and leave him on the bench. I mean, you got to be kidding me. But look, right now when I watch Team USA, I think everyone stinks on that team, especially Joel Embiid. The only people I trust are the people you're seeing do things. Kevin Durant, LeBron, and Steph. Outside of that, I don't trust any of them. And by the way, this is coming off. I thought Drew Holiday had a good game. I saw Derek White with a big block. I thought
AD
Ann Edwards
played
played okay. But the only people you could count on the team are the all-timers, the old guard. It's Steph, LeBron, and KD, the end. Outside of that, I have no faith in Team USA, and especially in Steve Kerr.
This was big. And we kept going. How bad they were in the warm-up games and the lead-up games.
Terrible.
And this is a Serbian team they just played not too long ago.
That's
So
right.
Serbia had familiarity. I knew what USA was going to do. They walked in the gym, they flipped on the switch, and they go, all right, now we can play.
Right.
They were like, it's right here. Boom. They just hit it, and they go, now we're going to play
Oh,
good
this
basketball.
counts? Okay, let's go.
They went 35% from 3 in the 5 warm-up games. They were 17 from 30 from deep today.
Woo.
And it was Kevin Durant just taking over. And if it was Kevin Durant, big 3, Serbia tries to bring the ball up. Drew Holiday steal, takes it coast to coast himself and scores. It's just relentless in so many layers. And for LeBron, still primary offensive initiator, 21 points, 9 assists, 6 rebounds. It's again 110-84 the final. None of these games are going to be close. They won by 26 points in the Olympics. 26
I don't
against
know,
Nikola
bro.
Jokic in Serbia.
I'm not going to lie, bro. That damn South Sudan team, I mean, they are absolute athletic freaks. And if Team USA, as we already seen,
But what
I
did
mean,
they
they
just
gave
do
them
today?
hell. They gave them hell already. But if my concern is this in that matchup. If Team USA does not play a disciplined game, because even against Serbia, they're still turning the ball over like nobody's business. If you play that sloppy brand of basketball, I'm just telling you, against what I saw from South Sudan the last time they played them, they are going to lose, or it is at least going to be close. I do not have the same confidence as you that this team can just flip the switch and mollywop people. Yes, in theory they should, but I'm telling you, outside of KD, LeBron, and Steph bailing them out, I just don't have any faith. And they just play so damn sloppy with that basketball. If they do that against South Sudan, it could be problems again.
They'll beat South Sudan by 20 instead of beating
I hope so.
Serbia by 26. Let's get into Steve Kerr DNPing Jayson Tatum.
Ugh.
As you said, There were 5 first-team All-NBA guys. Jayson Tatum was the only American that was first-team All-NBA and didn't play a second for Team USA today. And everyone thought, like, I think it was an illness. You know, they're wearing ponchos.
I thought so.
During the opening ceremonies. And I'm, like, reading some reports of, like, well, he was wearing different sweatpants. The rest of the team, like, oh, I guess something's there. Steve Kerr, quote, I went with the combinations that made sense. That was for tonight. He handled it well. He'll make his mark. Then he said, it's really hard in a 40-minute game to play more than 10 guys. With Kevin coming back, I just went with the combinations that I felt made the most sense. It seems crazy. I thought I was crazy when I looked at everything and determined these are the lineups I wanted to go get. Jayson is first team All-NBA 3 years in a row. He's one of the best players in the world. I went with the combinations I felt would make sense, and I talked to him, and he was incredibly professional. Tatum, I want more out of you, man.
Demand
As this
it.
game's going down, be like, put me in.
Demand it.
It's still a tight game. And also, matching up with a big Serbian team, why would not a big wing like
Right.
Jayson Tatum, strong, big, physical,
Yes.
how would he not help you on the floor?
Of course he would.
Him and Tyrese Halliburton were the only DNPs on the entire roster. You played Derek White 15 minutes, Drew Holiday 23 minutes, which is fine. You couldn't find 12 minutes somewhere in
Right.
there for Jayson Tatum. Again, what was in a tight game, and then the USA just ran away with it. I think it's weird for Kerr not to find a spot for him. And that's a guy that will play team basketball. We saw him do it
Yes.
on his way to a ring.
Yeah.
It's not like he's going to go out there and chuck it. He'll bring something to both ends of the floor, good playmaking ability and scoring and defense. This is just wild to me that
Yeah.
Steve Kerr didn't play Jayson Tatum, and wild to me that Jayson Tatum was okay with it.
You make a great point about the overall effectiveness of Jayson Tatum's game because
Yeah.
we're talking about the Serbia game. I mean, hello, LeBron James damn near messed around and got a triple-double because his game is complete. That's the kind of game Jayson Tatum has. So I don't understand. I guess when you watch these lineups and what did he call it? Combinations?
Yeah.
Like it's basically 4 guards and Joel Embiid. That's what this guy rolls out. And I don't understand it, but that's what he rolls out, right? And so I look at it like, dude, why wouldn't you play a Jayson Tatum who can give you the same? I'm not saying he is LeBron, but I'm saying he can bring those same elements that LeBron brings. All LeBron's doing is attacking the rim, scoring inside. He'll shoot the jumper if you give it to him. You give him the 3, he'll take it. Jayson Tatum can do all the above.
Yeah.
LeBron is crashing boards. Jayson Tatum can do that. LeBron coming down on the break, distributing. Jayson Tatum can do that.
Brings that layer off the bench.
Yeah, like playing defense. Jayson Tatum, he literally can do everything LeBron can do. And we see LeBron being effective on this team. Somehow, some way, the so-called genius of Steve Kerr is outsmarting himself. That's really what I think this is. I think he's overthinking this. He's all about analytics, and he's quick to tell you he's the smartest guy in the room. Bro, this ain't no damn Rubik's Cube, dog. This is basketball. Play the best players. I just don't understand it for the life of me. And for years, Warriors fans have complained to me about Steve Kerr. And I'm like, you guys are just spoiled brats who win too much. And now I actually see they were right all along. They were.
I mean, he's playing guys like Devin Booker, 26 minutes. Bam and AD, both 19. Like, you can find the minutes out there.
Yeah, of course you can.
He's going small lineups, constantly out there rotating the bigs of Embiid, AD, Adebayo. And Adebayo's all around small lineup, but
I think this is punishment. You know, Tatum did not play particularly well in those exhibition games.
he started 3 out of the 5 games.
I'm just saying, he didn't play well. So
No one did.
Well, true, but Tyrese Halliburton was pretty bad.
Dude.
His minutes went down. Tatum wasn't great. He wasn't as bad as Halliburton. I just wonder if this is some sort of punishment of like, all right, you're not shooting the ball well. You didn't play well in the exhibition games. Let's just let you chill out. I don't even necessarily mind that if he's playing some minutes. To not play at all is just, there's no excuse. There's nothing in a basketball sense that makes any sense to me of why you don't play Jayson Tatum a lick. What? Come on.
Yeah, Halliburton should just not be on this team. Him with the DNP is fine. I thought he'd be okay. Like, first game I saw watching, I'm like, oh, look at Halliburton. He doesn't have to think. He has so many good players around him.
Yeah.
He can't keep up with the talent and IQ on the rest of the floor.
Bro, you could have had Derek White in his role.
Yeah. And then Jaylen
Jaylen
Brown been the Kawhi replacement.
Yep.
And it would have been perfect.
Yep.
But for Celtics fans, they're going to get a pissed off Jaylen Brown. You see Jaylen Brown, he's out in Spain. Like, he's in Spain right now, training, chilling. I hope he's getting citizenship out there.
Well, I also saw him tweeting at Grant Hill again because Grant Hill went on Dan Patrick's show and essentially said we didn't want someone on the team that had conspiracy theories. And then Jaylen Brown, boop, right back to Twitter, going right back at him. I'm not a conspiracy theory at Grant Hill, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, man, this just is, it's a gift that keeps on giving, huh? We're just going to keep going back and forth here. A little tit for tat action, huh?
I love that.
Eye for an eye.
I want him pissed off this NBA season, and I want him 28 games that will be in LA. Him going out playing for like France or Spain, Canada, just find another country to.
That would break my heart.
You get naturalized citizenship. Like France was literally like, "Hey, Joel, come be a naturalized citizen."
I wish he did.
Yeah. So does USA. All right, I ended with some more Olympics talk. Simone Biles.
Yep.
Went out and did her thing, received the highest score of the day, locked in a spot in the finals next week.
Yep.
And the all around. But she briefly left the floor during qualifying with discomfort in her left leg.
Mm-hmm.
Returned, did great. And that was during the opening beam routine. Left the floor, came back, watched for several minutes. You can hear on the cameras during the broadcast, she say there's something in her calf, but with a heavily taped leg, still did her thing. Now it's sizing up her and Suni Lee will be in the all-around finals next week.
Yeah, I mean, I just watched the Simone Biles documentary, actually, with my wife this past weekend, and it was all about her mental health, and we remember what happened in the Tokyo Games. And listen, I mean, I think we all really kind of know the reality here with her. If she is healthy, both mentally and physically,
She's best in the world.
Forget about it. Now, it appears to me as though here in the Paris Games, the mentals check. She's there. She's good. She's dialed in. She's locked in. Her mental health is all good. Now it's a physical thing. And she talks in this documentary about how she thought after Tokyo she was completely done and checked out. She was retiring. That was it. So I wonder now if between now and then she obviously mentally got back into it. She's all in, right? I wonder now if the physical aspect is starting to catch up where, you know, and I was always told this by pro athletes, when you start thinking about retirement, it means it's time to go, because if not, you can get hurt. And I just wonder now if she did so much work mentally to get her mind back in the game, get her mind right, if now the body's starting to let her down, George. I hope that's not the case, but I just wonder, because we've seen this story before. Physically, these greats start to break down. It's
her third Olympic Games, too. Like, insane to think of that.
Her whole life has been gymnastics.
Exactly, so the toll catches up. What will be cool, it'll be the first time in the history of women's gymnastics, two Olympic all-around champions will compete against each other in the Olympic all-around final. Biles won it in 2016. Suni Lee won it in 2021, the 2020 games. And you go back to the last game Biles was in, she was the favorite in 4 of the 6 events she was competing in.
Yeah.
But had to withdraw because she was dealing with the twisties. Smart move for her part because kept her healthy, got her to this point.
Sure.
See something like that go down, it's a scare. Just credit to her because she toughed it out and she still received the highest score of the day, even with one bad tire.
I mean,
she's a GOAT.
Bro, one leg, she's better than all of the world.
Literally.
You know what I mean?
You're about to say it as in she is.
She is.
Just saw it today.
It's crazy, though. I'm just glad Steve Kerr isn't the U.S. gymnast coach, because
is he DNP'er?
Yeah, he wouldn't even play. He'd be like, hey, Simone, you know, I know you're the GOAT and all, but you can just chill out. We got this without you. Thank God he's not the coach of that team.
You're saying Jayson Tatum's a GOAT?
I'm saying Jayson Tatum is Captain America and deserves to be treated as such.
You're saying he's the GOAT?
That's what I'm saying.
He's
Captain America.
That's me getting revenge for Drake May starting week 1. When I said I like that he's locked in when he's stretching and warming up on the field.
That's what I took from it.
So you're saying Drake May is the start of week 1?
Well, listen, we saw Mac Jones dancing around all the time, and look at me, I know how to do the gritty. I mean, Drake May comes in here. He's a grown-up. He's buttoned up. He's ready to ball.
And he's only
about
22.
business, and he's only 22. I mean, you kidding me? I'm twice his age, and I'm not that mature. Drake May, week 1. Come on, baby. That's change we can believe in.
So you opened up cutting a wrestling promo. You just ended with cutting like a political ad. The range, my man. And that describes Boston has entered the chat all within one episode. He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Biles. Coming to you guys from the PNC Bank studio. Wherever you get your podcast, please like, subscribe, rate, review. Wherever you watch, please subscribe as well. Nesson on YouTube, Nesson on Twitch.
Yes.
Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime. Like, subscribe, rate, review. And you know what it is. New episodes dropping every Monday through Friday. Wherever you get your podcasts, wherever you watch them. For Travis Thomas and George Biles, we'll see you guys next time. Later.